Welcome, true believers, to a Disney Compendium side project. This is BATTLEWORLD. I am your Beyonder, JJ, and over on the other end of the line, my usual host is here with me, Nick. Nick, how are you doing?
Good. So if you're the Beyonder, I guess I'm like Claw from Secret Wars
Sure.
because
You can be whoever you need to be.
he's worthless and just brings things down.
Bring things down. Yeah, I'm just going to move on now.
Okay.
Along with Nick and I are two good close friends of ours for years and years at this point. First and foremost, Steve. So say hello to the people. Hey?
Howdy.
There we go. He's
I'm
right
ready.
there. He's ready. He's ready. He's going to pick the best heroes. And also over there, the grandpa of the group.
Yes.
Ross, how are you doing over there?
I'm great. Excelsior.
Excelsior, nuff said, all that good Marvel nonsense. So this all started actually because of Steve. His punk ass kids keep having us rank superhero teams.
Damn wiener kids.
Damn wiener kids are listening. Yeah. They put together teams and we just start talking about like who would win out of these random teams, and we're like, boy, that would be fun just to do like a superhero draft in this year of no sports. Just something to get our time divested into something else. So we thought, you know what, that'd be fun. Sit down, actually talk about this. Put together teams and talk about it. And try to see who would win. So at the end of the day, I put together this little game that we're going to play here. I am sort of the final say in this. I'm going to pick whose team would win in the scenarios. You're going to argue about it, that's for sure. I'm going to make sure you argue about why you think you deserve to win and why your team is here. So here's the rule set. This episode is Marvel only. So only Marvel. To keep with the Disney theming, I suppose. 616 only, so no Ultimate Universe, no 2099, no MCU versions, nothing like that. Just your traditional versions, classic versions of the heroes. And I made sure that some of them are like the iconic versions, is not like weird like Red Hulk or something. It's, standard Marvel 616 versions of characters. Magneto is a villain because he's more historically known as a villain. And I have created several scenarios. I'm not going to tell you what the scenario is until after you've drafted the number of heroes I've told you you're drafting. So that may screw you in the end if you pick a hero for a bad situation, but we'll see. We'll see. Are you guys ready?
Absolutely.
As ready as I'll ever be.
As ready as you'll ever be? Nick, you ready for this?
Let's burn this to the ground.
Burn it down, Seth Rollins. All right, so just to get it out of the gate, it's going to be a simple 3-on-3. You're each going to choose 3 heroes, each of you. So,
These people going to be able to be reused again later, or is it once they're used, they're gone forever?
Once they're used in this team, they are being stricken from the hero guide, unless I say otherwise.
So there's room for MacGuffin.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the whole plan here is. But I guess we're gonna have to figure out who goes first, right? My keyboard works here. So I'm trying to think of what would be the best way.
Age.
Oh no, actually, you know what? I've got a good idea.
Another way.
Yeah, I've got a good idea. Closest, without going over. Shuri from the Black Panther movies. What year did she make her Marvel debut? Who's going to be closest in the year? And what
1979.
Okay, Ross, that's okay. Steve, what do you think?
I don't know.
1992. Oh.
Okay. Nick?
2002.
2005 is when Shuri made her debut, so Nick gets first draft on this one, and it's gonna go on my side. I'm looking at the three of you stacked on top of each other. So Nick, you're first.
Ew.
Steve, you're second.
Sexy.
Ross, you're third. And
Make us
Off to a great start.
winner goes last. By the way, I just want to point that out. Winner draws last in the next round.
All right.
So Nick, you get to choose your first hero.
I am going to choose. I was going to go with favoritism and go with the Incredible Hulk.
Okay. You don't disappoint, Nick.
Nope.
All right. Hulk's gone.
And all right, let's see here. I'm gonna go. I can't go wrong. I'm gonna go with Captain America. I mean, I probably will.
Wow.
U.S. agent.
Not fair.
Okay. Ross, who are you going with for your second?
I'm rearranging my plans here. I'm gonna go Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Ah.
Look at you.
I was going to go Strange too. So.
All right. Well, now it's back to your second pick, Nick. Who are you gonna?
So now I'm now thinking of brains over brawn, and I'm actually gonna go with Charles Xavier.
Ooh, Professor X himself.
I mean, why not? I'm gonna go with Thor.
Thor. Get God on your side.
There you go.
If this were football, these would be our linemen, I suppose.
I draft Ken Griffey Jr.
With my second pick, I'm gonna go outside my normal box. I'm gonna go Silver Surfer.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
Silver Surfer.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
That is good.
Getting all of the A stringers out of the way here, so when you get later into these battles, you're gonna have to really dig to the bottom of the barrel for somebody good. Nick, who's the final man of your team?
It's actually not a man. I'm going to go with Storm.
Storm. You got two X-Men and the Hulk. Steve, who do you think is your final teammate?
I know. Final one. You know, I'm going to go also with a lady. I'm going to go with Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers. Ross?
Yeah.
Get one more.
Cool.
U.S. agent.
Ross takes Nomad.
I'm gonna go with let's see. Hey, people are disappearing right before my eyes.
Yeah.
Like
JJ snapped his fingers.
I'm gonna go with sorry.
No, that's what this is here for. That's why we're doing it.
I overthink everything. So let's go with. You know what? I'm gonna go with Mr. Fantastic. That was my first thought.
Mr. Fantastic. You got a good golden age team going on. Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Mr. Fantastic.
Yes. Well, you know, I don't know what the scenario is, obviously, but I'm trying to pick people who I think might complement each other. And there's a lot of brawn on both sides.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I could match that head on. So I figure let's go with cosmic magic and intelligence.
You know, not a bad call. This particular battle is a very simple one. It's going to take place right in the heart of New York City, at the heart of everything, with no special gimmicks at all. Just pure power. Just teams based off of what they've got. Just No, the gimmicks come later. This is a simple, straight up fight.
You might have to remind me like who gets picked, by the way, because I don't have a way to cross them off.
All right, I am deleting them as we go in the hero list, so
Cool.
you don't have to worry about it.
Thanks.
All right.
Ross is like, as long as it's not all strength, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
well, that's the thing. Well, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, he did pick, like, you know, could Mr. Fantastic come up with a way to do this? If he can beat Galactus, he can figure out a way to beat the Hulk in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, between Doctor Strange and Mr. Fantastic, I figure, and Silver Surfer's power, I figure they can find ways to make the Hulk not a factor.
I only picked Storm to counterpick Steve's pick of Thor.
Thor's lightning can do nothing to Storm.
Yep.
Silver Surfer is just a lightning rod, like he just takes it.
Yeah, he just takes it.
I don't like that at all. Don't say living rod again.
So you have a team of Hulk, Professor X, Storm, Captain America, Thor, Captain Marvel. I don't know why I wrote Captain Danvers on my list. That's hilarious.
It's me, Captain Danvers.
Just the pilot, not the superhero, just the pilot.
Yeah, you got the pilot. You didn't get Captain Marvel. I'm sorry. You grabbed her pre-powers. I'm sorry.
Pilot Danvers.
Yeah. And you got Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. So, I mean, what do you think of, like, I'm sorry, Nick, your team doesn't look particularly great going up against either of these two teams.
Well,
the Hulk is a powerhouse, and Professor Xavier is, you know, the most powerful mind in the Marvel universe in a sense. But like, how does that affect Silver Surfer? Like,
was
cosmic
Hulk beaten Silver Surfer before? Because the Hulk gets exponentially stronger as he gets madder. So.
I feel like Doctor Strange's first strategy would be to drop the Hulk into another dimension. Far away.
You have to assume, because there's no weird gimmick to this fight, that they're being forced to fight against their own will in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Right. So is the Hulk actually angry at any of these characters? Are any characters angry at one another? You just have to think of historical, like...
The Hulk's always angry.
The Hulk's always angry. That's why
he's angry at everybody. Yeah.
It's like what kind of connections they've had with characters in the past.
What also complicates things is we have 3 members of the Illuminati between us.
Yeah.
So.
I don't.
I said between us, Steve.
He's not happy with my team. I have 2.
Yeah, he's got 2 Illuminati members. Nick's got 1. They're the ones that put the Hulk into space.
Yes.
There you
go. They tricked the Hulk into leaving the planet. Didn't work out so well for them in the end, but at the start it worked out pretty well for them.
Hence my pick.
The Hulk is going to try to break Doctor Strange's hands before he gets thrown into the astral plane.
Yep.
And Thor can beat Hulk. We've seen that happen.
But it's a stalemate usually.
It's usually a stalemate, that's true.
I feel like in this particular fight, the Hulk is going to be sort of stalemated regardless. Like, everyone's going to focus on him because he is the danger. So you're going to have basically 2 teams going up against the Hulk, really.
I don't know. I tend to think at least on Nick's team, Professor X is the real
threat.
Danger.
The real threat. But
yeah, he needs to be disabled immediately.
Yeah.
But
he's already disabled.
He is disabled.
I'm envisioning this in my head where you have like Doctor Strange and Professor X fighting on the astral plane.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. While Silver Surfer, Hulk, and Thor go at it.
Yeah. Captain Marvel and Storm are the ones that are just, you got the two women just off to the distance fighting each
I know.
other? Is that what the...
They're fighting
Battling in the
Mr.
sky.
Fantastic is watching.
I don't know where Cap fits into this. That's my thing. I can't. It's really hard to defend.
Well, you're hoping Cap comes up with a way to disable the power players.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
He's your QB, basically.
Yeah, that's essentially it. I drafted Tom Brady, and now I want him to do something.
I mean, that was my plan with drafting Cap, and the reason I went with Doctor Strange as a secondary. Yeah, it was essentially the same thing. And does Mr. Fantastic get the ultimate nullifier?
Yeah. I mean, like, you pretty much have access to whatever Captain Marvel, not Captain Marvel, Mr. Fantastic has done in the comics up to this point. You kind of have access to whatever you need to.
I got Onslaught then. Yay!
Yeah. I mean, Onslaught has been quelled, so you can't just Professor X just can't bring on Onslaught. unless Thor like straight up kills Professor X in some way and resurrects some sort of latent something.
It staples his brain to his own like that.
So if Ross gets everything that Reed Richards has created, does he get Franklin Richards too?
Have reality been?
You can't bring in other characters to help.
Does Ross get Herbie as an assist?
I mean, theoretically, Herbie isn't really a character, so yeah, you could theoretically throw Herbie in there if you needed to. As take it, like if this were an RPG, he would just be there to be like a sponge to take save HP for you. He's the one taking the damage.
Cool. So who gets Rick Jones, me or Steve?
Unfortunately, Nick, you get Rick Jones.
He gets Rick Jones. You can have Rick Jones.
No, thank you.
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like the real fight is going to be between Nick and Ross's team.
Poor Steve.
Like poor Steve, but like you have some magic users and some cosmic powers and brains, and the Hulk is just the Hulk out there. He's just nobody's stopping him. They're just slowing him down.
I have a god.
You do have a god, but
we have a Hulk.
But you have a but
he has a Hulk.
He has a Hulk. He has a Hulk. So
I have an ultimate nullifier.
Yeah, he's got the ultimate nullifier. He could just stop all of this if he wanted to, and just the unknown what the ultimate nullifier does, other than just make Galactus disappear. But
it's the ultimate MacGuffin there.
Yeah.
You have the ultimate milquetoast in frickin' Reed Richards.
But also, like at the same time, I feel like Reed just gets one blow to the side of the head from the Hulk, and then it's like, well, you're down one guy.
Well, here's the thing: if this is a fight, I'm not having Hulk go anywhere near Reed Richards. I'm having Xavier turn him into a vegetable.
There you go. But then, like with Silver Surfer out there,
yeah,
it's tricky with Silver Surfer because.
Who's riding him?
What's like? Yeah.
Is it Jesus Surfer or is it the other one?
Which surfer are we getting?
That weird surfer, or
you're getting you're getting the pre-Infinity Gauntlet solo storyline Silver Surfer issue 50 where Thanos is returned.
Thanos has returned, Surfer.
Yeah. Thanos is coming, Surfer. Laying at the bottom of Sanctum Sanctorum. That's why he's on the team. He crashed through the roof line.
Oh, he's here. I'd be rude not to invite him.
Yeah, that's what happened. Surfers crashed through Doctor Strange's roof, and here we are.
They called up Reed Richards and went to battle.
Yeah.
I don't know why we have to go to battle, but I guess we have to go to battle. Let's do this.
The man said we have to battle.
We've been summoned by JJ.
The Beyonder himself has plucked you out of your safe spaces. The dog has his opinions.
Yes, he does.
See?
She does also.
That sounded like Thor to me. I don't know. So Steve wins because the dog said so.
The dog said Thor.
But the problem you're always going to have is like on Doctor Strange is that he really can just kind of put you wherever he wants you to go. Like he can open up a portal theoretically and just put you somewhere. How does that affect your team, Nick?
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I'm gonna have Xavier like, like as my guide is like, oh cool, now you're in a coma.
So is your entire strategy just Xavier going into people's minds and shutting them down?
Like here's the thing, Hulk, while they're focusing on the Hulk.
Now, is Mr. Fantastic not capable of rendering a device similar to what, I don't know, Juggernaut or Magneto wear? Are they allowed prep time for this fight? Because that's pretty big deal for
He's got the power loader from Aliens.
Does he get an hour in like his workshop?
You're pretty much going in bare bones with what you've typically got on you. So Xavier's going in with a suit and a wheelchair. Thor has his hammer, and that's your.
But here's my
so
thing.
Reed gets nothing. Reed's worthless.
Reed gets his power and his brains. I mean, he could create something on the fly depending on where you're at, but unfortunately, you're just in the middle of the streets of New York where there's really not much you can do. If you were somewhere else with Reed on like a different planet or in a different, like in a building somewhere, maybe, but you're just on the streets.
Well, see, my thing is, okay, so in theory, you're going to be focused on, their guys are going to be focused on Xavier and Hulk. They're not going to be looking at Storm like
Storm's just out there
controlling the damn weather.
Because really, what's going to happen, I think, is Doctor Strange and Xavier pretty much cancel each other out, and they're off in their own astral plane type fight. So basically, they're trying to cancel each other out, and essentially they do. So then you've got Hulk and Storm against Mr. Fantastic and Silver Surfer, which you're pretty much going to send Silver Surfer to try and contain the Hulk. And so you're coming down to Storm against Mr. Fantastic.
and I mean, look at Mr. Fantastic's basically rubber, and you know how lightning is to.
Yeah. She also hail.
Blow him away in a tornado.
Bye.
I'm going to bank on Mr. Fantastic's inherent racism when he's facing Storm.
Not fair.
And misogyny.
Do I get like Heimdall? Could Heimdall take my team somewhere while they fight, and then take us all back?
No, I'm giving you a big no on that one. That is a straight as no. That's not going to happen. You get to fight with your hammer and your lightning, and that's what you get.
Which Thor does Steve have? Does he have the one where it's Donald Blake tapping the stick Thor, or
just your typical Thor? Not any just Thor. What you think of when you think of Thor is what you're getting with Thor.
Leopard boots.
Yeah.
Leopard boots Thor.
That's what I think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think of leopard boots Thor a lot, Ross?
Quite a lot. You'd be surprised.
It's your favorite. It's your favorite thing to think about in your downtime.
I mean,
okay. Let's hear everyone's final why they think their team would win in the end. Let's get down to it. Why do you think your team would win, Nick?
I kind of just explain, like, Hulk muscle nobody's going to top him, and my thing is everybody's going to be focused on shutting him down.
Yeah,
I told you, like, Xavier's like, oh cool, now you have to breathe through a tube. and Storm's gonna be causing chaos. So I needed at least one flying character. Like I said, I picked Storm as a counter pick to Steve picking Thor.
There you go.
Because of the lightning thing. So
Yeah. Steve, why do you think your team, Cap, Thor, and Captain Marvel, would win this fight? Or do you even think they would?
Yeah.
We got 2 soldiers on this team.
Uh-huh.
They're not losing.
They're not just going to lay down.
That's right. They're going to lead Thor into battle. Thor's going to take out Storm, or, Captain Marvel can take out Storm. That's no big deal. Reed's not a big deal. Cap could just punch him. It's fine.
Can he punch him?
Cap will find a way to punch him. Right?
He'll throw his shield, throw him off, and then get a punch in.
Or, Cap can lift the hammer, so he could also use the hammer in the battle. Is that allowed?
We are not. The MCU is not part of this, although I'm pretty sure. But also the hammer has been lifted by several people in the comics. So
Steve's strategy is Captain America is going to flirt with Sue Richards.
I don't even know, but I would bet one of my characters has lifted the hammer before.
Yeah, I don't. Now I'm starting to think they're probably not going to win. But they put up a pretty damn good fight, I think.
I think capture last guy standing regardless.
I think Nick or I's best option is what type of chaos Steve's team causes before it loses.
Yeah.
I don't have any magic. I can't make anyone a vegetable.
I feel like your team.
I could just outlift everyone.
I feel like your team could do more damage against. I don't know. I'm trying to think of whose team yours would do more damage against. I see Nick's team being a little more pushed back by your team in a lot of senses, because nobody's giving Captain Marvel any credit for being an insanely cosmically powered to an insane
I took
degree.
Captain Marvel to counter Ross's Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Just think of your Ultimate Alliance teams. There you go. That's how you choose.
Ross, why do you think your team would win?
Because Doctor Strange is going to take the strategy of just warping them away from the battlefield, letting the other 2 teams fight each other, and then coming in to pick the scraps of what's left. Teleportation powers.
It's a good strategy. I'll give you that. I guess in that sense, it's who gets the attack in first. Does Ross's devil may care attitude Professor X, who's just willing to just shut down whoever's in front of him at the snap of his fingers?
You've got murder Professor X. I don't know.
He's got Ultimates version Professor X over here. He's just I'm just
You're wondering why I asked if I got Heimdall, because if I did,
you would have a lot more. You'd have a teleportation crew. You'd have something to go out there. Yeah.
I'm mostly going with Fatal Attractions Xavier, who's jaded and has given up on life. So he's just kill them all.
Double Xavier.
Double Xavier, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Doctor Strange is the only thing carrying my team is
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think in this particular scenario, I do think Nick's team is sort of off. It's a little too loaded with. You got the one character who can just pummel everyone and can't get pummeled back, on top of the one character that can just shut everyone down if things get too heavy. He could slow down time with his mind. We've seen him do it.
In the movie?
In the comics. It happens in the comics.
He made Magneto catatonic.
That's what also turned him into Onslaught.
There you go.
So, yeah, I think in this particular scenario, I really do think Nick's team ends up being the winner.
Boo!
Boo! I get it.
Boo!
But keep in mind, with Nick's win, he also gets last pick on the next round. So,
Oh, your normal co-host wins. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, maybe if you weren't such a little ass, you'd have a better chance of doing this.
So does that mean Steve goes first?
That means Steve goes first. Steve gets first pick on the list. The list, I've culled everyone that's been picked out of the list. So
You haven't told us what to pick yet.
it is going to be a triple threat tag team, 2v2v2. So you get 2 heroes each.
Tag team match, playa.
It's not a tag team match. It's just 2 on. It's a tornado tag. Everyone in the ring at once.
Bunkhouse brawl, if you
There
will.
you go.
Storm is still on here.
Oh, I thought I deleted Storm. Oh, delete Storm again.
Move Storm.
There goes Storm. Goodbye, Storm. You brought nothing to the table the last fight.
That's not true. Racism.
All right. Okay. This is gonna be something stupid like, oh, now we want soldiers in this battle, and there are none left. So
Hey, that's the risk you take. Grabbing the big dogs first.
I'm gonna
So
take.
we're doing all heroes this time as well?
It is all. Well, you know what? I'm changing it up. Fuck
Uh-oh.
it.
That's all I was
Villains.
asking. The heroes, villains.
No, screw it. It's villains.
Oh, man.
Oh,
There's a monkey wrench in my plans. All right.
Oh man. Okay.
I know you're picking. I already know you're picking.
Batroc the Leaper.
And I'll take Silver Sam. No.
I know Steve's picking right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Thanos.
Got Thanos right there. Ross.
Yes. This is exactly how I draft my fantasy football team. I'm like, okay, so
Me too, Ross. Me too.
I'm gonna start out with Dr. Doom.
Damn it!
Dr. Doom.
Oh,
I knew he wouldn't last.
Nick.
oh man. Okay. I'm gonna pick Taskmaster.
Taskmaster. Oh,
Task-
I see where you're going with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see what he's doing. I'll take Loki.
Loki. Thanos and Loki.
Okay.
All right, Ross.
I am. Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. That's a Doctor Doom and Juggernaut is a hell of a team.
I like the balance.
And Nick.
I'm gonna take Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
That's a good one.
That's a Taskmaster and Apocalypse, well known for working together.
Yeah. It's my Marvel. It's my Marvel versus Capcom team right there.
Apocalypse falls right square in that gap of knowledge for me.
Yeah.
I know enough, but you know.
He's the only guy I thought could like equal your guys' heavy hitters as far as like strategy
Yeah.
or godlike powers.
Not just dog.
Okay, so we've got Thanos and Loki, Doctor Doom and Juggernaut, Taskmaster,
Task Manager. Yep.
and Apocalypse. Nick, it's an interesting strategy you took with Taskmaster.
Yeah.
I understand where you were going with it, although
Right.
I don't think he's going to be much help
Oh,
for
no.
the most part in this.
Well,
Because we know what his power set is. He can mimic everyone's fighting style just by watching it. What good does that do when you have like people with power sets? Like he can't. he may be able to mimic how Juggernaut fights, but he doesn't have Juggernaut's powers.
Right.
The thing
Same
is,
thing with Loki. He may be able to fight like Loki, but he doesn't have the magic that Loki has.
well,
Catwoman's just gonna like run through a hallway, just like ah.
here's the thing: you're
Thanos
going
just
off
flicks
the,
him across the room.
you're going off the assumption that I'm just going to copy their strategies. Taskmaster,
Thanos is just like holding him away with his palm, like.
I understand that you're gonna have Taskmaster try to fight like, you know, a high skilled fighter or something that's not necessarily in this game.
yeah, he's already like copied Daredevil's abilities. He already knows how to fight like Cap. He knows how to fight like Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So,
How does any of that help against Thanos, Juggernaut, or Apocalypse?
I have Apocalypse. He's on my team.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you're fine. Apocalypse is fine and safe.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a task manager camping, and I'm gonna have him try to put a fucking arrow through.
through Thanos' dome.
Yeah. So 36 minutes in, JJ. I said the F word.
Okay. This one I'm being a little more genuous on this one. Just don't do any slurs or anything. Just don't have your heated gamer moments.
I'm not the one who works with races earlier. But yeah, that's all I could do with Taskmaster. I was in Task Manager now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nick. It's not a great team.
No.
Also, I didn't tell you where this is taking place, did I?
No. He's like,
this fight is taking place in the Savage Land. So
that goes to my advantage, actually.
So you're going to have to deal with dinosaurs and the like. While this fight is going on, all of the dangers that come with the Savage Land are going to be involved in this fight. So
I'm going to lose.
Like he just gets stepped on by a T-Rex before the battle even starts.
Taskmaster gets brought in with Apocalypse. Apocalypse is just like, what the hell are you doing here?
He actually might be killed by Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I'm on your team, bro.
You're in my way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's not take anything away from Apocalypse. Apocalypse is incredibly powerful, but I don't know if he's as powerful as the Juggernaut or Thanos in this situation. Well, also, obviously, this is non-gauntlet Thanos.
Really. I think he could go toe-to-toe with non-gauntlet Thanos.
But, yeah, I think he would... I still think Thanos would probably give him more than he would be dished, but he would stand up. He would stand up to Thanos, but I don't think your team stands much of a chance in this particular battle.
Probably not.
Juggernaut obviously is a heavy hitter in this particular one because he really is unstoppable, just much like the Hulk in a lot of ways. But he's not completely unstoppable. So
yeah, I thought he was. I mean, Dr. Doom is powerful and wise as he is. Obviously, power-wise, isn't going to match up with Thanos. So.
Even Loki, who has a superpower in this scenario, where he actually is he is a god still. He can create tricks and illusions, which could also help in the Savage Land situation.
The Savage Land, that's right.
I think Doom's the best pick, honestly.
Yeah.
That's your strategist. Like, this dude, you think about Dr. Doom. Like, this guy actually, had, the cross that Christ was crucified on in his armor just in case he got turned on by Dracula. Just in case he ever had beef with Dracula.
Yeah.
You're going with that guy.
I like that. I mean, again, the strategy to go with the dumb raw power. And
you have a smart, tactful, Dr. Doom with a incredibly aggressive, non-stopping Juggernaut. That's a good team. Thanos Loki is also a very good team. Maybe not necessarily in terms of teamwork. I feel like Dr. Doom and Juggernaut.
Kill the other?
What?
Didn't one of them kill the other?
Well, yeah. I think Dr. Doom.
Maybe.
I think Dr. Doctor Doom, Juggernaut probably work better together than Loki and Thanos.
I feel like Doctor Doom with his magic and technology
Yeah.
would be able to enhance Juggernaut as well, his fighting ability.
Yeah.
Also, Doom can time travel, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that.
He's gonna go back and kill baby Thanos.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the cosmic Ghost Rider thing. That's the go back in time and kill baby Thanos or save baby Thanos and raise him so he's on his side. So now Thanos is a part of Latveria.
Uncle Doom to Thanos.
Uncle Doom, yeah.
I don't know. Like were it me, I would just say Ross wins is just for having Doom, but that's just me.
I mean, let's get some final thoughts on this then.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think your team would win, Steve?
Well, I mean, I think Thanos is really smart. I mean, he's not as smart as Doom.
Yeah.
But he created the entire plan to get himself the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
And wiped out half of everyone.
He's got a very close working relationship with Death, so that's
right.
that's a good it's a good thing to have in your pocket.
And I mean he's immortal. He's a cosmic being. Doom is a dude in a suit with technology. I mean, that's what he is. He's not a god. He's not a cosmic guy. Loki could create Juggernaut. Juggernaut could be stopped by Thanos or Loki if they work together.
If they work together, yeah, that's. I mean, but you are discounting that Doctor Doom does have powers of magic. Like, he's not just a dude; he does have magic.
But so does Loki. Loki has magic, and he's a god. So,
I think it's close. I think it's really close.
It's close. I mean, Loki's gonna get like an illusion of a million dinosaurs, pterodactyls.
I think at the end of the day, when we're handling Nick, you're not gonna win. I'm sorry.
No.
There's
I know, absolutely not.
This team's not good for this to begin with. But then you throw in the Savage Land situation. I think even at the end of the day, like with dinosaurs and pterodactyls and Sauron probably.
Stegron.
Yeah, just like flying around, causing havoc. Eventually, you're gonna pull away some of the villain characters. Like, it's going to end up being Juggernaut trying to like keep the dinosaurs at bay while, Loki or Thanos go head to head with Doctor Doom. I don't know who's going to be focusing on the dinosaurs in this situation.
Probably Doom and Thanos. I mean, probably Juggernaut and Thanos, because it's not like the dinosaurs are only going to be going after one particular side. So both sides are in danger from that. So you're looking at your heavy hitters having to basically defend themselves and their team.
Yeah. So like Thanos and Juggernaut being sort of preoccupied during this fight with each other and dinosaurs, while. Right.
So you're coming down to Loki against Doctor Doom.
In a lot of I think you're.
Is it?
It is, Steve. I know you're trying to win this one.
I don't think Thanos is out there razzling dinosaurs.
You think it's Loki? You think it's Loki trying to?
No, I think it's 2-on-1. I think they've confused Juggernaut enough with Loki and Thanos, and now it's Doom versus 2.
To Steve's credit, though, Juggernaut is just kind of a big dumb guy.
Right?
That's true. That's why
I got two smart guys.
That's why I've sort of whittled it down to being Doctor Doom, sort of being the final say in this particular fight, and.
And to play devil's advocate, though, Apocalypse and Doom have 10 more.
I think you have to take into account the ability to work together, and I think Thanos and Loki working together, especially in the stress of being in the Savage Land, when you throw adversity, not only are they fighting these two opponents who are closely matched with them, but they've also got, I don't know, Sauron and 1,000 dinosaurs.
Yeah.
At some point they're going to get snippy with each other.
Yeah.
And like there's a high likelihood of those two turning on each other rather than Doom just telling Juggernaut to go smash over something over there.
I feel like at the end of the day, Steve, your team is very good. You have to take personality into play here. And I think at the end of the day, Loki would try to figure out a way to make this all about him. try to do something, try to be deceitful in some way, shape, or form, and have it blow up in his face.
He's reformed.
Not this Loki. This is the iconic Loki. This is the villain Loki. That's why he's on the villain theme.
He's a frog. It's female.
Yeah. It's like I think your downfall would end up being Loki in some way, shape, or form.
I agree with that. Not just because it's my team, but the logistics of it. I think Thanos and Loki working together is a tough set. I think they're a more powerful team than Doom and Juggernaut, but I don't think they would be able to work together.
I think working together in sort of a chaotic environment as well, which is what the point of sort of having these different areas and stuff is.
Yeah, so Thanos is going to go for the hot tag, and Loki's going to pull away.
Exactly.
Absolutely. He's going to pull his hand away and walk to the back.
Yeah. Or he takes the tag and then just walks away and gets them counted out. So
gets them counted out.
I see lust in your eyes, Thanos.
Ross, your team's very good. It's a very solid team. I don't think it's the more powerful of the two teams. I think if it was just straight power sets, Steve's team would have won. But
I agree.
I think if you take into account everything that's going on, I think your team is the winner on this particular one. I think you've got just the right power set and just the right sort of like. There's no reason for these two to have any animosity towards one another that much. So Juggernaut's just going to be a big dumb idiot that's fighting dinosaurs. And that's going to help a lot.
I agree.
Of course you agree.
Of course you agree.
I do.
Turns out I win. Oh.
What do you know?
What do you know? Nick wins again.
So Ross, you win. So it's Nick won, Ross won. Steve, you got to get something good here.
Come on, Steve.
I had something good.
You did.
But someone
for God's sake.
Okay, so this next one, Nick, you're gonna be polling first here.
Okay, heroes or villains?
That's where we're going to be a little different this time around.
All right.
Nick, you are going to be heroes.
I'm going to be picking heroes?
You're going to be picking heroes.
All right.
Steve, villains. And Ross, heroes. So Steve, you're going to be a villain team. Nick and Ross are hero teams.
Man, too bad all those villains are gone now.
Yeah.
I know.
There's some really good villains. There's some really good villains in there.
All right.
And I picked Cyber.
Am I picking first?
You're picking first, Nick.
I'm going to go with a outside the box pick here.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Cable.
Cable.
Time travel, baby.
Time travel. Summers.
I really thought about him when we were the last round. I was looking at him.
It's an interesting pick. Steve?
Which means it's bad.
Probably. You like to just. I'm not saying that. Yes.
Yeah. Steve, you get a villain.
I'll take Magneto.
Magneto. There's good old Magneto. Delete Magneto from the list.
Scarlet Witch.
Okay. Ross, you get a hero.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Nice.
Okay. Just a second. I gotta catch up to
All in the family.
That was gonna be my pick before he switched to villains last time.
I forgot that I did forget to say it is 3-on-3 again. So 3-on-3-on-3.
Oh, 3-on-3. Okay.
So we each get. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Nick, you get another hero.
In the interest of keeping it in the family, I'm going to go with Jean, particularly Phoenix Power Jean.
Okay, Phoenix.
Does she have the Phoenix power?
She's on the list twice, so we don't know.
That's just an accident. It's just a copy and paste error. It is just normal Jean Grey. It is not Phoenix. I would have put Phoenix separately if it was
All right,
Phoenix.
then never mind. I'll take her. It's fine. I'll keep her.
Okay. Make sure to delete both of them.
Jean.
All right, Steve, you get another villain.
My team is going to be destroyed.
I guess I'll take. Oh man, there's a reason these guys are villains. They just get owned by the heroes. I'll take Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister. That's a good one.
Pick.
Steve with Mr. Sinister. Ross, you get another hero.
I do. I had somebody in mind, and Iceman.
Iceman. But unfortunately, that is the Top Gun. No.
Oh, no.
No, it's Val Kilmer. It's Top Gun sequel Val Kilmer too.
Yeah, it's not the good Val Kilmer. It's not.
All right.
All right.
Just to keep in the X universe, I'm going to go with Rogue.
Rogue.
Just for the succubi powers.
Okay, Rogue. It is. One more villain here, Steve.
Boy. Man, don't want to just take a dude in a suit like Kingpin.
Well, unfortunately, it takes place in a casino, and you all have crippling debts. You probably should have. No.
It's at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. You messed up, Steve.
Congrats. But somehow, like, Rogue took all his powers, and now she can eat the most hot dogs, and Steve loses. Man, I'll take Super Scroll.
Super Scroll.
It's not
There
a bad
you go.
pick.
That is not a bad pick at all.
Counter Rogue.
Ross, one more hero.
Yeah, I'm trying to find somebody that complements this, and I'm not having a lot of. I'm not feeling good about anybody left. I mean, I've got some. They're heavy hitters, just not in a typical way. I'm a little worried about Jean Grey. If you're wondering what my thought process is, when we're calling.
That's who I was worried about too.
I'm gonna go Hope Summers.
Hope Summers. Oh,
Counterfeit.
That's a good
that's
one.
just younger Jean Grey.
But what will Cable want to fight her? I don't know.
You have to think about it. You have
But-
to think about that stuff.
But his mom told him to.
There you go.
This is like all X-Men and Super Scroll.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Which is really good because this particular scenario, you've all been teleported and you all have to make the greatest TV show of all time because you're trapped in Mojo's murder world.
Oh, man.
You're-
God.
So, actually, to be perfectly fair on this one, I think Steve's got sort of an upper hand on this one because there's a lot of robots in Murder World. It's a lot of metal.
A lot of metal in Murder
A
World.
lot of metal in Murder World. So you got to. Everything is an illusion or a robot. You got to deal with somebody trying to make an interesting movie out of all of this. So chaos reigns all around you, and
Speaking
you
of
have to fight each
chaos,
other.
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Chaos powers. Yeah. Well, I mean, Cable's got history with Mojo though, as does Jean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the
Right.
X teams have had a run in with
Mojo.
Mojo. As you can see, that's why I don't have long shot on the.
Oh, that why.
That and he
But
sucks. Incredibly
You have
sucks.
Mojo on here.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that somebody would pick Mojo for this particular one. Just
But only
out of
Steve
just-
picked Mojo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, initially,
I guess you could say
So
I was
me.
praying for Mojo.
You wanted me to pick Mojo since he's on the villain list.
as soon as Magneto was off the board, then I immediately, had to scrap any plans for people that have metal weapons.
Yeah.
know,
So,
initially, I was thinking Colossus, and well, that went out the window pretty quick.
so
That's why no one took Wolverine either, I think.
Yeah,
Nick has Cable, which isn't particularly great. There's this
Yeah.
techno-organic nonsense.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
everyone part.
But-
like Cable.
Jean and Hope have the advantage because the cameras are going to naturally gravitate towards them. So they're attractive.
That's true.
I mean, look, again, they're trying to make a movie, so that's
Yeah.
not too far removed from
It's true.
this weird reality that you're in right now, having to fight each other and,
Rating.
whatever Mojo,
Yeah.
of an audience as well.
Like
So-
Jean is going to be like, I'm just going to wear like yoga pants and I got to walk.
I feel like Scarlet Witch and Iceman's powers lend themselves well to spectacle.
Yeah, it's true.
They do. Yeah.
It's true. Magneto has the advantage to where he's incredibly charismatic. He is a speech giver.
That's right. He's very
He likes to monologue.
Yeah, and I mean,
a lot
Mr.
of monologue for
Mr.
Magneto.
Sinister as well. I mean, Mr.
A
Sinister.
lot of monologuing going on over there.
Yeah, Super Scroll just kind of odd man out in this particular duo.
But also, I have Rogue, who's like, has PTSD or some. She's mentally broken. So that's
Yes.
We have a lot of telepaths in this
Yeah, there's
thing here.
But how well does that really help out in a sort of a scenario where a lot of what you see isn't real? Like, they're going to be focused on a lot of nonsense that they're not going to be able. Their powers are only going to be able to be like any sort of telepathy is kind of out the door for the other stuff going on. Maybe the telekinesis can help with the robots and the stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
like
they
that.
can't mind control the robots. Initially, I was thinking I would grab Vision, and but with Magneto around, that seemed like a bad.
Seemed like a bad idea. Magneto is going to be chaos in this particular scenario.
Do I get House of M Scarlet Witch? Because this guy was over really quick.
Yeah.
No.
No. You have the ability you do have reality bending abilities, but you're not going full villain, wiping out the entirety of Murder World just because you thought it.
or I can just have Rogue take Magneto's powers
I
and do
mean,
the same thing.
It's Rogue's got to get to Magneto.
Well, they have a history. They have a history.
They have a history,
They
but everyone in this fight has a history
Yeah,
in
but
some way,
he-
shape, or form.
I'm pretty sure they've
Except
boned.
Super Scroll. Super
Yeah,
Scroll.
what
the
am I
wild
doing
card.
here?
Supergirl has no sympathy to anyone's deals. He just
In Super Scroll's defense, I think his powers lend themselves to spectacle as well.
Yes,
they do.
very much
And chaos.
so. And chaos.
That's right.
So
And-
not only are you trying to be the last team standing, but you're also trying to sort of win over the crowd as well on this. Basically, everyone's sort of fighting for their freedom in a sense on this one. So
Wherever there's trouble.
yeah,
Yeah, Super Scroll's got some fire, invisibility. He has all this Fantastic Four powers. He can do all that stuff.
yeah.
And he's also the only one who's not bound by any like former past relationships, really.
Really,
He's like,
yeah.
Who are these ex people? I don't care about any of them.
About any of them.
There's a lot of drama going on that I don't care about.
I don't care about. I just want to smash. Let me just smash
Yeah.
some stuff.
He can just melt Iceman, right? Like that. That's how he does it.
Yeah. Human
Can
Torch.
he?
Just. I
Can
think,
he?
I don't think Iceman's powers are going to be effective against the Super Skrull. I mean, in theory, it depends on how powerful Iceman is in this scenario. Theoretically, he could do some damage, but I
Could
was thinking
Rogue technically take Super Skrull's powers?
I don't know. I feel
They're
like you're
kind
getting
of the same thing.
yeah, I was like you're getting
They're kind of, yeah.
getting a feedback loop when you have Rogue
Yeah.
touch the Super Skrull.
Would they
don't know
cancel
what
each other out?
I don't know what
Yeah,
would
I have
happen
no
on that.
idea.
But
If you're Rogue, are you going for Magneto's powers, or are you going for Scarlet Witch's powers?
I'm going for I want them all.
she's
What's
she,
all the gems?
well, I mean, she immediately takes her own teammates' powers.
Yeah, I would probably go for Magneto first, to be honest with you.
Magneto is a big threat in this situation, and to have his
He's
same
kind of
powers-
like in the last battle when he had Doom. I mean, he's smart and he
Yeah.
can get everyone around him and everyone to battle with him. So
yeah, and
Can he
you know,
get Mr. Sinister to cooperate with him though? Those are pretty. I don't know what their
Kind of-
history as far as teaming up is. But
yeah, they
I
kind of
don't know. I don't know either.
They kind of would have sort of opposing viewpoints because
Right.
Sinister really does want, he doesn't really want unification. He just wants
No.
he wants slaves.
Can't Sinister
historically, Magneto not a big fan of slaves.
Yeah.
Are you saying someone is a big fan of slaves other than
Maybe
Mr. Monster?
Super Skrull probably a big fan of. I mean, he is. I mean, the Skrulls are kind of all slaves.
Yeah,
to
they
their
are all
society.
slaves.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe
big
not a big
fans of
fan of it, but
Cable comes from. What's Cable's power set here, Nick? What are you going for with Cable?
time travel, and I have a big gun.
Time travel and you've
lots of pouches.
Your big metal gun.
Yes,
you're
I'm going with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Cable.
going for. It's like this is
Maybe it's a future gun that's not made of metal. Maybe it's made out of some type of alloy. That's
What is the techno organic virus? Is like,
Yeah.
Does the techno? It's some sort of weird not metal. It's like.
I'm also bringing a ton of angst with me.
Cable 3D printed his gun in the future, and now he's brought it to the battle.
Is
is
this
cable pulled the trigger on Hope Summers.
Yeah.
I you know what? I think he might be able to. I don't know. That's a good question. But if his mom tells him to, she's like, "You're my favorite."
That's true. He does have he is fighting side by side with his mom in this particular one. So.
Sure.
Mom likes me better.
All right.
That's true.
Nick, your team, they're filming a movie. They're fighting for their freedom.
Yeah.
They need to not only beat their opponents but appease the fans. Do you think
Sure.
they're able? Do you think they're able to do that? Do you think?
Yes.
Do you think the crowd will be on the side of the guy that kills Hope Summers? The guy that
What are
he's
Gene and
protecting?
Rogue wearing?
All right. So
Kill him, baby.
as I've told you, I'm going to put Gene and Rogue in yoga pants. And so I'm going to get those ratings up. Crop tops and yoga pants.
Can Super Skrull take those powers as well? And I could put him in yoga pants.
Yeah,
You're saying that what's his name is gonna
Somebody-
be doing
I'm picturing like somebody really likes Speedo, man.
The Skrull
Rob
can totally be
Mayfield.
one. He can look like a female with his powers.
Yeah, I mean he does have shape shifting abilities. He can do
So
whatever
does
he wants.
Sinister, though. Yeah.
That's right.
Steve, I mean you've already started voicing your opinions on how you would win this fight.
Well, I'm good. I'm not shooting myself in the foot. I hope. But would Magneto be able to kill Scarlet Witch?
That's true. It's true. But
And would she
I
be able to kill him?
I
Yeah, that's right. Would she be able to kill her dad?
yeah. Does those two, does that create, just like the Cable Hope Summers, does the Magneto Scarlet Witch thing create televised tension? Does it create an interesting story? Because which one creates the more interesting story?
I feel
Sure.
bad for Super Scroll now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, man, I'm out
Super
of here.
Super Skrull is just out there using his powers, doing some fighting, really just trying to make the best of the situation. He doesn't want to be here. He wants out of here. Everyone else can do their own thing.
These families are messed up, man.
Ross, what do you think about your team? What do you think about your team here?
I think Scarlet Witch is a pretty big hitter in this, just for this. Not only, I mean, for all categories, not only just pure power, but also spectacle and
Yoga pants.
yeah, yoga pants.
Yeah.
You have a lot of spectacle and power, and charisma with Iceman. He's very much a showman. So
Is he going with Spider-Man and Amazing Friends, Iceman?
Yeah.
It's just Snowball Iceman from like the first issue of X-Men.
Yeah.
Where he just looks like a pile of snow.
I think Scarlet Witch has the ability to take down pretty much anybody in this scenario.
Yeah.
But I guess would she is the question. But
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about Hope Summers really. I know I read the one arc where everybody was trying to kill her.
Yeah, I don't know much about her either. But I mean, my team, Magneto, with all the metal in the world, I mean, he's gonna come at everyone. He's gonna monologue the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's pretty entertaining. He's gonna
The grace is that even though my people, this goes against my team, that they don't really have metal on them or use metal. There's plenty of metal from destroyed robots everywhere.
Yeah.
To, as shrapnel.
And I'm going to be, and Iceman is going to have a hard go at somebody like Super Skrull.
Sure.
In this situation.
Sure.
I
think Magneto's charismatic enough to make Super Skrull look like Kate Upton while he's flying around, using his powers. So
I really do think, I really do think, given everything that has to go on in this fight, doing it for Mojo World, doing it for ratings, and doing it for your survival, I really do think Steve's team is the best rounded team for this scenario. There's a lot of metal for Magneto to use, a lot of familial tension with one side, and like even just historical tension. You got Cable, you've got Jean Grey, you've got Rogue, you've got Scarlet Witch and Iceman. Everyone's working
buttons for sure.
Yeah,
Mr. Sinister too.
Mr. Sinister too. Like, yeah, and you just have a good, like, Super Skrull has no horse in this race. He just knows he's on your team and has to get out of here, and has the power set to be able to take on some of these people.
I do think you run into the cooperation problem with those three again, though. Super Skrull has no motive to cooperate, or even really willingness or history to cooperate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same Magneto and Mr. Sinister are pretty much not going to get along at all, I would think.
I don't think a lot of villains are going to get along at all, but I think the
my team's going to get along great.
Ross's team is going to get along okay. Scarlet Witch still has some issues with mutants for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think Magneto's enough of a leader where he could get them together. I mean, he had his own team. He heads the mutants.
Yeah. I mean, he is a good guy now, but that's not the Magneto I'm going for on this one. I'm going for the.
Yeah. We're not going for the Magneto that would be disgusted by Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
You didn't get Red Skull, huh?
oh, yeah.
If you had the Red Skull on your team, you would have lost. Because there is no way Magneto could have put aside any of it for 1 second.
It'd be a two-man team.
Be a two-man team. Magneto either left or is just trying to or it's going to be 4-on-1 with one team because he's going to partner up with one of the other teams to
I
bring down
thought
the
about
Super
choosing
Red Skull.
Red Skull just as like a button press against Magneto, just to like maybe get him off of his game.
Yeah. Red Skull and Magneto thrust together, and they somehow win the tag titles.
Can they coexist?
Can they coexist?
All right. You've all got a win now. I'm giving that one to Steve. I think his team's well-rounded enough for Mojo World in particular to really work really good.
So who's 2 and who's 3?
What was that?
Ah,
Who's 3rd?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Who's starting this time? Well, Steve won, so Ross gets first pick this time.
So I'm 3rd. Is that what you're saying? My team is last place.
Well,
I will.
I'm
I
keeping
will.
track.
I mean, honestly, on this one, of the 2 hero teams, yours was the better of the hero teams. I think you've got Hope Summers, who is more Phoenix than Jean Grey is. Honestly, at this point.
So I just think we'll get second. I get a silver medal.
You get a silver medal on this one. I give you the second place. I'm sorry, Nick, but
That's
No, it's not like I'm keeping track over here or anything.
yeah. So you're saying is my yoga pants and crop top strategy was not a sound one?
It was a good move. It was a good strategy.
It worked for me.
But I it worked.
So we're doing me and then Nick and then Steve. Is that what the order is?
What was that?
It's me and then Nick and Steve this round.
Yep.
Okay.
So this time, it's another 3-on-3. On 3. there are 3 of you. So, and it's all heroes this time. Just all heroes.
Whew.
You're getting down to the dregs.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are happening over here.
I am gonna go Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Since Magneto's off the board.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all heroes, but still. We're going Iron Man.
Ross with Iron Man as his choice. Nick?
I'm gonna go with Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
All right.
I just remembered what I just glanced over and I wanted to look to see what is the theme for this one again, and it made me laugh. So, good luck, everyone. Steve.
Man. I'll take.
You need to take Scarlet Witch off the board.
Nope.
Yeah, she's still there.
There she
didn't
goes.
put it in here.
Now she's gone. No more mutants.
All right, I'm gonna take. Let's see. They went with Iron Man, and who'd you pick, Nick?
I picked
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
You really want to take Night Thrasher.
I could skate all over it. Bike versus skate.
Yeah.
I'll take Nova.
Nova.
I was wondering when you were gonna pick Nova. You like Nova?
I like Nova. I like Nova quite a bit.
Steve gets Nova. Nick, I'm sorry, Ross, get it. Go again. One more, another hero.
Yeah. Ew. Sorry, I saw Gambit on the list, and
Why?
if you pick Gambit, I'm in trouble at any point in this whole process.
One of my goals is to get Ross to pick Gambit.
There we go.
Man, we got a couple of cosmic guys here. That's trouble. Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock. Going big.
I thought about that one.
I'm gonna roll the dice.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Namor.
Namor.
I've come close to taking him a couple of times.
Steve.
Namor, huh?
So I got fire and water.
Well, I mean, to take away Namor, I'm going to take Invisible Woman.
Invisible.
Ah, with
That's-
the sexual tension there.
That's a
She was
good.
actually almost my first pick, but I didn't.
That is a good plan. Ross, one more hero.
All right. Iron Man, Warlock. Yeah, there's some heavy hitters in this. Let's go with
Howard Saint.
Getting rid of that
Good
one.
She-Hulk.
That's a
Get
good
rid of
pick.
Howard Saint in there.
You picked
Did you
She-Hulk?
have- Yeah,
Pick
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. She-Hulk it is. She-Hulk. Nick,
Am I
one
getting original She-Hulk, or am I getting like red She-Hulk? Am I getting Betty Ross?
You're getting classic She-Hulk. Nice. Just nothing crazy, nothing weird, not gray She-Hulk, not.
I'm getting attorney She-Hulk.
Jen-
Fantastic Four
You're
member.
getting Jennifer. Yes.
I'm gonna go with Quicksilver.
Quick.
I'm toast.
Quicksilver. It is. Steve. One more.
I'm gonna go. Silver. This is tough.
There's
You
already one team that I already know is going to have a bad time in this one. So good luck, everyone.
Thanks.
I got a question. If you take Ant-Man, do you get Giant Man? Like, can he grow, or is he only going little?
You pick which one you want. I give you your choice. If you want to be Goliath, you can change Ant-Man to Goliath. But if you want him to be Ant-Man, it's Ant-Man.
I can't go back and forth.
No, you can't go back and forth. You have to choose. If you want it to be Yellow Jacket, you're also more than welcome to have it be Yellow Jacket.
Oh man, is he going to beat all the women on this team?
Look at spit take.
Gosh, I don't know who's stronger. Fuck it. I'll take the Thing.
The Thing.
Oh,
Okay.
wow!
Really curveball there.
It's
It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time. 3 versus 3 versus 3. Nick, I have some bad news for you. Your team not going to be particularly well suited for this.
Is this a
particular
space
fight.
battle?
It is on Asteroid M.
Yeah!
You're in the middle of space.
All right.
So you've got your you got your water boy out in
Uh-huh.
space. Not great. Ghost Rider. Fire not particularly great in space. But he does have other power sets and a motorcycle, which not. I don't know. Does his motorcycle handle cosmic terrain very well?
Well, I mean, he's gonna be able to breathe in space, probably. If
You kind of have no problem with the living in space part. It's just,
Exactly.
Exactly.
Ross and Steve have some very good, like, he's got 2/4 of the Fantastic Four for Steve, which they got their powers because they were, astronauts. So,
And Nova.
and you've got Nova, who is a space cop. You have Iron Man, who has obviously no problems with space in the slightest. Adam Warlock, who is from space. Born of space.
You're discounting the fact, sir, that I picked Quicksilver, who knows his way around Asteroid M.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. But also,
Yeah.
I mean, Quicksilver is the strongest member of your team.
Yeah.
In this sense.
Assuming everybody has been provided breathing apparatus.
Yeah, it's assumed that everyone can reasonably exist on the surface of this asteroid.
But half of these people are not going to die instantly when transported.
Yeah. Namor doesn't really have a lot going for him. In this
He's got some moral support.
Namor shoots water and it just floats away.
Namor was a ride. Oh, yeah, come on.
So, so I'm sorry, Nick. I'm just gonna have to tell you right now that there's a very slim chance you're winning this.
That's okay. Listen, if nothing else, I'm going to like muck things up for Steve and have Namor and Sue do stuff.
So I feel like in this scenario, Steve's got a very well-rounded team of like, in terms of teamwork, probably more likely to work together cohesively.
This is the only time I've taken teamwork into account.
I mean, Nova's a problem.
Yeah, Nova is a problem. Like, on your team, but you have Adam Warlock. Like,
yeah, he has Adam Warlock.
Like,
yeah.
But I guess it depends on what Adam Warlock is trying, like what he's going to be doing in space in this fight against, mostly normal people for the most part.
Well, She-Hulk and Thing are going to counterback each other.
Yes,
yeah.
She-Hulk and Thing are kind of 1-1 in this fight. It's
also a Fantastic Four member at one point, so
yes,
you throw that.
That's right.
Yes, so
it's tough. Because obviously I've read a lot of stuff with Adam Warlock in it, but you know what they don't do? Really tell you what his powers are.
Yeah, it's like
spray tanning.
I don't know much.
It's all very vague.
Yeah, magic is like,
magic.
Magic, I know. Like that's like one of his power sets, and like, matter manipulation or whatever, like that kind of.
I mean,
what you expect from a cosmic powered hero is sort of what his set ends up being. Like,
I mean, I have a general idea of what he's capable of, and I like the idea of him and Iron Man being on the same team. I feel like they can a little bit of ego clashing, but I think they could work well together and complement each other pretty well.
I think between you and Steve, like Iron Man and Nova are going to be like the two that are gonna similar situation going on between the two of them in terms of how they're gonna fight. Yeah,
I was thinking Nova Adam Warlock would be battling above everyone because I guess Iron Man can fly too, but
yeah. I mean, I think Adam Warlock and Nova are the two like power players in the whole scenario. That
I don't think
the battle goes as that goes. Probably
Iron Man's a good pick for a space battle, but I think he's sort of the lead. He's the weakest of the three on this team by a long shot. And like. And I didn't tell you this ahead of time, but you do have drunk Tony, so I'm sorry. No.
So all the better.
Yeah.
He's going to get on Sue the whole time.
Yeah.
So what was your read? What's here?
Iron Man and Submariner over there just hitting on Sue. She can't
I was
get anything done.
Sue is out of this because between Tony Stark and Namor, she's done. She's leaving.
If you're going Annihilation Nova, Nova is. I mean, he runs that entire dang story. I mean, he takes out everyone.
Yeah.
No one knocks him out, but Adam Warlock's not in that. So.
That's very true.
Adam Warlock behind defeating Infinity Gauntlet Thanos.
Warlock's a bit of a manipulator too.
Yeah,
he is very much so. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Sue's power set is very underestimated by. I don't know. I don't think a lot of writers really do her justice for what she can and is capable of. I know there was that period in the '80s where she went like super. She got like super overpowered and crazy and was like giving people heart attacks and stuff.
Yeah.
With little air bubbles inside the force field bubbles inside there.
That's right.
Is she wearing the outfit with the force cut out in the middle?
Yeah, she's wearing the '90s outfit, the mid-drift.
She's being drawn by Rob Liefeld.
Yes.
The thing that you have the problem with Nova, that you have the problem with like some of the other like Doctor Strange and characters like that, where he has the ability to open up wormholes. If he really wanted to, he could just open up a wormhole in the space and really just cause some havoc for everyone.
And they're in space, so
Yeah.
And
He can exert his control over gravity. That's power of
Doesn't
Nova.
Warlock have similar type powers as well?
He's got some matter manipulation, magic,
Who?
and
Teleporting all over the place in Infinity Gauntlet, like
yeah,
gathering Celestials and whatnot.
yeah,
yeah, he was.
and
But would Tony and Warlock they like to both be the alpha. That's the thing.
yeah. Who's the leader of this team?
I think Iron Man takes that just the sheer lack of power compared to Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
I think generally in most scenarios he tends to realize he's kind of out of his weight class sometimes.
You think he defer to Warlock?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Warlock is kind of like I don't know. Warlock he reminds me of the stoic kind of like Dr. Manhattan, where like he might look at something and just be like, "All right, bro, I'm out."
Well, he's one of those guys that has like earthly concerns aren't necessarily really his concern.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of above it all.
Yeah.
It's kind of a jerk.
He's a jerk.
Yeah, he's a jerk. But he did turn Thanos into stone. I mean, we can't take that away from him.
Does Ross get Magnus? Is it Magnus or is it Adam Warlock?
It is Adam Warlock. It is not Magnus yet.
The Magus.
Magus, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I lost this one.
Yes, Nick, you absolutely lost this one. I don't know what Ghost Rider brings to the table. Quicksilver is sort of a wild card.
I got a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Quicksilver is pushing the motorcycle.
You start driving the motorcycle and it's just sort of like upside down.
I mean,
I don't want to get no pickle. I just want to ride my motorcycle.
Quicksilver's going to run into gravity space problems, I would think, using his powers.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Ghost Rider.
I mean, we don't need any more reasons to dump on the team.
Yeah.
I really don't. Namor's the funniest one to me. Just like in his speedo on an asteroid.
I was rolling the dice that it was going to take place on water or underwater.
Well, I cannot. This is where I'm getting old because I can't remember Namor's catchphrase, but I just picture him yelling it as he's
Furious
flying.
Rex.
Yeah, it's Furious Rex. He's just floating through space.
And he's got the vest on.
Yeah. With his little ankle fins flipping away.
Yeah, he's got the little ankle wings. I hope.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, I've taken Namor off the board in case we do have a water bottle.
Very true.
Well, it sounds like JJ's got to call this one.
It's a close call, but I think Ross's team is better suited for this fight in the end. Nova is the most useful on your team, and if you had at least one other person on there to really complement him, maybe. But, I mean, between Adam Warlock and Iron Man, like, Iron Man's not going to be useful. She-Hulk and Thing are knocking each other around. You would
I mean,
imagine.
She-Hulk, Namor, and Thing are pretty much all kind of.
The
You can pretty much just cross them off the
Yeah,
list.
so at the end of the day, you're having this Adam Warlock Nova fight, and I think Adam Warlock takes it down at the end of all of this. But that's not to say in an interesting comic book story, Nova wins or something. Like, it's not too out of the realm of possibility that Nova wins. But I think Adam Warlock has the edge on Nova at the end of the day on this one.
Yeah, I think 2 out of 3 times Adam Warlock wins that fight.
Yeah, I would agree.
Sorry, Steve.
Still very, I mean, good teams overall for a space fight, unlike someone else on here.
I have the water boy.
Bobby Boucher.
Mama said.
Is he the first mutant? Was he the first mutant?
Well,
Depends who writes it.
technically, Apocalypse is the first.
Actually,
I don't acknowledge that period, so I go with his Namor.
Namor with his wooden spoon.
he brought a bottle of water. I got this.
So, as it is right now, Ross, you're winning.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. That's awesome.
Yeah, so you've done well so far, but now we're going into the main event.
Uh-oh.
The main event.
The
All the
main
power players are off the
event.
board.
Yeah.
With no good heroes left.
That's where the flip is. Everyone's back in play.
Oh.
Oh.
What?
Are you putting them back on, or we have to remember?
Just remember, it's easy to remember. But
Is it?
it is. It is.
Okay.
So Nick, you're gonna go first.
Oh,
then
I don't
Steve,
remember
then
any-
Ross.
I'm glad I wrote everybody down.
Yeah,
I did not. Oh, man.
pretty much every good comic book character is taken already. So I'm gonna go because it's gonna go Nick, Steve, Ross. This is a 4-on-4, but it's 2 heroes, 2 villains each. So
Whew.
going for some real chaos here.
All right, I'm going to pick Hulk again.
Okay. You don't disappoint, Nick.
He's my blue shipper pod god.
Crazy scenario here. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know what it's going to be. So Nick went
I
Hulk
don't know
again?
what it's going to be, but there's been a theme. I'm going to take Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
I brought Steve on board the Doctor Strange bandwagon.
That's right.
Let's see. Everybody's back.
2 heroes, 2 villains each.
You know what? I'm gonna start out with Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom. You went with the villain first. I like it.
Yeah.
I was like, let me get a villain I want. I feel like the selection of villains is
a
lower.
little more difficult.
Yeah, less to choose from.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Thanos.
Thanos.
I don't understand your team strategy here, Nick.
I'm going to go with. Now I'm trying to remember.
Pick Nova again.
I'm going to go with. Oops, clicked the wrong thing. Oh shoot! Trying to remember all the people that have been taken. Nick stole my pick. I will go with Magneto.
Magneto.
Doctor Doom's ego is going to be a problem, but let's see.
He did cry on 9/11, though. Keep that in mind.
I don't want that, Doctor Doom.
Take Red Skull.
My Doctor Doom is a 9/11 truther.
John,
Dr. Doom
Human
speak
Torch
well.
can't melt steel beams.
No. Oh boy. I'm gonna go Thor.
Thor. Nick with his Hulk, Thanos, and
Somebody picked. Steve picked Magneto, right?
he
Yeah.
Okay, so that takes that off the board.
did.
Go all bruisers. Take Rhino.
You know what? I'm actually going to take. I'm going to take Deadpool.
Deadpool. Interesting choice. I like it.
He's got history with Thanos and Hulk.
Yeah,
Not good history, but history.
history nonetheless.
History. Oh. Not writing everything down has been a problem.
Storm for you, if you.
Night Thrasher.
Namor. I am going to take Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, good one.
I'm probably going to regret this, but I'm going to go Dormammu.
Oh, our next president.
I hope.
I hope.
So you got your two. So you got your two villains. You just gotta get one more hero after this. Nick, you've got to pick a villain.
So I'm gonna go a little outside the box here. I'm gonna go with Mysterio.
Mysterio. Okay. Steve, you have to get a
Villain.
A villain, yeah.
Unless I get evil Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Well, then it's just game over. Time.
Pick Deathlock.
And I take the Scorpion.
I choose the Wrecking Crew as a whole.
I am going to go with. I have enough. I'm going to go with Juggernaut.
Juggernaut.
Oh, damn it. Loki's back on the board. I forgot. Crap.
Yep. And Ross.
I thought about Loki, but I have so many manipulators.
Need a hero. Who's going to make a difference in this battle?
Rikishi.
Did it for the Rock. You know you want to take Cap. Take Cap.
Just take him.
That's rough, man. I love Cap, but he's a little out of his element in this battle. I don't know though. Mysterio's there. Are we getting movie Mysterio? He doesn't have any powers whatsoever. He has video cameras.
I mean, that's comic book Mysterio is the same way.
Yeah.
So
He doesn't have any
no
powers in the comics.
Shut up.
I'm going Daredevil Arc Mysterio, actually. So
Kevin
Old Man
Smith
Logan
Mysterio.
yes, exactly.
You know what? I will take Cap. Why not?
Cap, Captain
I love
America.
Captain.
So, the scenario for this one: a wormhole has opened up. You've been sucked back to World War II.
Oh man!
You are in the Pacific Theater, so you have to not only deal with the war, but your fight as well. And Ross has Captain America.
I love Captain America.
And Steve has Magneto, so not a great...
Good thing nobody picked Silver Samurai.
Yeah, glad I didn't pick Red Skull. Wow. So you like we're mid battle here in World War II.
Yeah.
So there's lots of pesky humans firing guns.
Lots of gunfire, lots of mortar blasts. There's planes flying overhead.
So I should have picked Namor.
Yeah.
Should have taken
Namor
Could you
human
imagine
too.
Saving Private Ryan, but Namor comes bursting out of the water?
So, I mean,
Mysterio in a little bit of trouble here.
Does he have his his gear with him?
You have whatever he carries on his
All
person when he goes into battle. It's as if you were battling already and you got sucked into World War II.
He's just going to be making dudes think they see Nazis.
Although his illusion powers,
Yeah.
this doesn't build my team, but could come in handy where, as in he's making, he can use the people fighting in the war
Yeah.
to strike for him. He's
if-
got them shooting tanks and bombs at people he wants to fight, making them look like the enemy or whatnot. So,
These guys are dying from polio. They don't know any different.
Yeah, and although this is not canonical for this particular round, but Mysterio did make Wolverine kill all the X-Men by making him think they were the villains. So,
but
True.
Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch could also do that.
yes.
yeah, I mean, you're Private Ryan fighting World War II, and then Hulk and Thanos just drop from a wormhole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bad day.
Captain America's there. They already know him. He is already a hero at this point.
Wait. So
Captain
does
America is
Captain
going to
America
be
have
able
an
to
army?
rally the Allied troops.
Here's the thing, though. I have a feeling Cap might have PTSD, being dropped back into World War II.
Well, I think on Steve's team, Magneto's going to be absolutely no help. He's going to be.
Is Haley Atwell there in this scenario? I hope not.
Yeah, this is
where's
he gets,
Auschwitz?
having a life cap.
What was that?
He gets having a life cap.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He's not a soldier.
Yeah.
No.
Wait,
He's in the suburbs.
he's got scrawny Steve.
I get Ruler's original Captain America.
Yeah.
Would they
depending on
It would be
depending
very
on
weird
when this
because-
was, it might be skinny cap.
Yeah.
would it cause a paradox to Caps existing at the same time?
Theoretically, there's a real threat of the current era Captain America getting involved in this too.
You don't think that Magneto being dropped back there would just go rage?
Yes. Magneto becomes a real wild card. He either shuts down, becomes enraged, or just abandons the team to try to.
I mean, honestly, the humans are pretty much fighting the war. Pretty much going to be out of the picture in about 2 minutes because between Hulk and Thanos and Magneto and Juggernaut and Thor and Dormammu.
Dormammu in particular is a weird one for the.
I mean, there's a lot of death in moments.
Yes.
The battle is not really a problem for long.
Yeah.
No.
We have to assume that the heroes are trying to not interfere too much in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens World War II is going on around them, and you can't sort of.
We have the paradox where the villains on your team are going no holds barred, and the heroes are trying to protect.
Yes, exactly. The villains on the team are probably, some of them might be preoccupied with trying to change the course of history.
Like Dr. Doom.
Magneto.
But I have Deadpool who doesn't care about trying to maintain that stuff.
Yeah, Deadpool he went back in time and killed the presidents. So it's not a big deal for Deadpool.
He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
I mean, what is Deadpool really gonna do? I mean, he doesn't have teleporting abilities, I don't believe, in this scenario.
He's gonna be my bullet sponge, basically.
He's definitely gonna be that.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a sponge if he runs into let's see, Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Or
Dormammu. Step on a landmine, Ross.
He just steps on a landmine and blows himself up. His head's just laying there making smart ass comments the rest of the
Not too far removed from what probably would happen, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of I don't know.
There's a lot of factors here.
Yeah. That's why it's the main event.
Yeah, I feel like Magneto would just like show me where's Auschwitz.
Yeah. I
Point
feel
me
like
that direction.
yeah, I feel like Steve's team will lose a member at some point in this because Magneto is going to dip out and try to stop all of that.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
what year is this in World War II? Like what? Like where are we at? Have we already liberated Germany? Is it in the Pacific? What's going on? Because it might already the Holocaust might be over, so he might be cool.
It's true. It's true. I was picturing I was picturing Pacific Theater. So yeah.
So 44, 45?
Yeah.
44, 45.
So.
Well, you know. But Scarlet Witch could help him with his mind and not put those thoughts in his head. Get him focused.
Try and
She could
focus
block
him,
it out.
manipulate the reality around him so he doesn't think it's 1942
That-
or 1944.
that's
or
right.
whatever.
My Scarlet Witch is a Holocaust denier. She's just gonna make sure
God.
that he doesn't think it happens and get him focused on the battle.
Oh gosh.
Steve, your team loses.
Oh no. Why is Robbie Rousey here too?
I mean, I suppose I run into the problem of Dormammu not really caring about the value of human life.
Yeah.
Like that's what you've got. And with Nick, he's got Thanos. Like, what the hell does he care?
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
I feel
Knock
like
on all humans.
Yeah.
They
I think.
care.
Yeah, I think like Mysterio would still be like, oh wow, okay, I should put, I should put my stuff aside for a second and.
I'm just gonna go. You guys-
Gonna do some magic in the Pacific Theater.
he's gonna be shown like he's gonna be like, hey, German soldiers, you guys want to see some card tricks?
You're like Bob Hope.
Yes. He's gonna be doing David Blaine's street magic. We're the Japanese soldier.
He's rewritten history to where he founded the USO. And
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Cap has the ability to really wrangle Doctor Doom and Dormammu. That's a tough.
even Thor, I think like even though they're the Avengers, like with the chaos going around, having to deal with Dormammu and Doctor Doom, having Thor on his team, he's like, Thor, can you help me out here?
Does Thor
Yeah.
care? Does Thor care about it either?
Probably not too much, not as much as he should. I don't know though. Who's writing him? Because there's very conflicting levels of Thor giving a crap about people on Earth.
Get David Blake Thor this time with his.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the raw power is there. You know, as far as Hulk versus Thanos and Thor and Dormammu. I don't know.
And Juggernaut. We got Juggernaut running.
Yeah.
We
I mean, you're pretty much going to have
people.
the Thanos and Juggernaut. I don't know. Thanos and Hulk. Ugh. That's a lot of firepower.
There's a lot of firepower on every team in this one. These are actually relatively rounded teams where you kind of have to play into character dynamics a little more this time around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Everyone-
definitely
Yeah,
pick this
everyone
one
has
more
their
careful.
yeah, everyone's a heavy hit. Everyone has a heavy hitter. Everyone has sort of like a god level being of some way, it's
But then you also have like two characters who are like have a vested interest in World War II.
yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't know. It's really tough.
It's a tough one.
Even with my own bias.
Yeah. I think, Nick, your team is really safe in a lot of ways. It doesn't really it has enough interest to it where you've got your Bruiser with the Hulk. You've got Thanos who, cosmic being with super strength
and he's my strategist.
yeah, and a war strategist,
I got my wild cards Deadpool.
You got your wild card Deadpool, and you got Mysterio, who, I mean, can play despite being, relatively useless in a physical fight. His
But-
his abilities that he's good at could come into play a little bit, whether it be for your advantage or to distract another team or to distract whatever's going on.
I mean, if we're going to go toe-to-toe, I mean, Mysterio might be out there, but then Doctor Strange just immediately pantses him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Up close magic's
I
not
think
going to help.
the problem with Thanos, the strategist, is that he's got 2 of his 3 teammates are people that he just absolutely cannot strategize with in Hulk and Deadpool.
You have to just assume everyone wants to win, but that doesn't stop biases from. It's not like he's just going to walk away from it because he doesn't care. You just have to assume in these fights that everyone wants to win.
Like Thanos wants to win, but I think Deadpool and Hulk are easily distracted from not caring about winning.
Thanos is the only. I think Thanos is the only person he could get to sort of get on his side is Mysterio in some way, shape, or form. So
Mysterio's like, I just don't want to die. Like, help!
I have no business being here. This is weird. I'm not some sort of multi-dimensional guy. I'm a street-level thug to Spider-Man. What is going on?
Well, could Nick get... This helps Nick a little bit. Could he get, like, brown suit Hulk or smart Hulk or Hulk that can talk?
I would take early to mid-90s smart Hulk. I would take the nerf on the power of the strength for the intelligence.
It probably would help you in this scenario, I think.
It would help you, I think.
Yeah.
But you just get normal ass Hulk, so.
Wait a minute!
If you wanted a specific Hulk, you should have said something as you were picking the Hulk, but you didn't. You can't retroactively add it. We've already had the fights playing out with normal Hulk, so.
Yeah, sorry, Nick.
Sorry.
You're Mr. Fix-It.
Show Fix-It not available right now. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think keeping Doom and Thor and Dormammu and Cap at least on task as far as wanting will to win and see things through. I don't see a problem there with any of them. Getting along might be an issue.
I don't see a lot of issues on Steve's team in particular either.
I was just going to say that. I feel like Doctor Strange and Magneto could get on the same page enough to put in the right direction.
The person who doesn't get the stakes or care about the stakes is Juggernaut, probably.
Yeah,
right.
But I mean, Magneto
he gets to hit the Hulk.
Magneto and Juggernaut at least have a,
But Juggernaut can't listen to anything Magneto says, probably.
Yeah, and also they have a general villain. They both hate Xavier so much, so they do have some common ground. So
yeah.
So,
and on Ross's team, like Doom has shown he will side with heroes when it serves a purpose.
When it serves a purpose, when it serves his best interest, he will definitely. That's why he cried during 9/11.
We don't talk about that. I mean, he did help them fight Onslaught, so
yeah.
I think Dr. Doom ultimately cares about humanity. He just cares about his vision for it.
He wants to control humanity.
He cares about Latveria, and that's about it.
He's the best kind of villain. The self-righteous, I believe my cause is just villain is always the best, usually.
Which, again, is exactly the same as Magneto. So Dr. Doom and Magneto have these...
Well, that's why Magneto, Thanos, and Dr. Doom are great villains.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a little more to them than I just want to be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also, like, the thing is, like, Magneto, like, we're in the Pacific Theater. There's a lot of metal around at his disposal.
Yeah, a lot of bullets.
A lot of bullets.
Tanks and planes and nonsense.
And mortar shells. And
exactly. Yeah. And even if you even if you're not disguising what World War II is to him, like, him being there gives him a lot of motivation. So,
I think all 3 teams are. I don't know. I think it's a.
They're all very good teams. They're all very good teams.
To propose a rule change that could help decide.
Okay.
If you're having trouble deciding, what if each person was teleported to a different place with 2 other people randomly? If you were to randomly choose where each person ends up and who they end up with, then you have kind of a. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, not necessarily round robin, but you have process of elimination where, these people end up together, they take this person's a victor, moves on to the next fight type deal.
Oh, just like a little tournament between everyone here who does
right.
against who.
It kind of, helps decide the winner. I don't know. But to me, it's too close to call.
Let's just start with your first picks, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
So Hulk versus Strange versus Doom.
Whew.
I want to read that.
I feel like I'm at a disadvantage here because Strange and Doom have worked together in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in this case, Hulk is.
But he was also a defender with Strange.
Yeah.
So.
Hey.
I feel like Doom and Strange would realize the imminent threat that is Hulk,
Yeah.
and better to take
Take him out first.
So
him out first and
so
deal
bet-
with each other.
so between Strange and Doom.
That's why I said, whoo.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking
But
about it.
I honestly, this is not good for me. But I probably would say Doctor Strange.
I agree with that. I think
Ultimate.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he's just more. I mean,
He's just more. He can send him somewhere. He's more powerful.
Yeah.
I think their powers are like Doctor Doom's close
Yeah.
in a lot of ways and in similar ways,
Yeah.
but he's short in every aspect of it other than the technology part.
Yeah. All right.
And maybe strategy, but he might win in strategy.
Strange
He's
is
undoubtedly smarter than Strange.
Yeah.
Right.
I give it to I give it to Strange in this one. But what about Doctor Strange, Thanos, and Thor?
Whew, that's tough. I don't know if Doctor's like that. That's a lot of power.
Yeah.
I mean, I think his power works well against those two, but if they're all fighting at the same time,
Yeah.
I don't know that he is capable.
I don't think Doctor Strange survives that particular.
Right.
I think he dips out of that fight. It's a fight he can't win, and he's smart enough
Or
to.
does he just kind of sit back and let the other two just beat the tar out of each other because they hate each other? Then he just kicks the other one to the curb when they're down.
Yeah, I don't think he would fight that way. I don't know. No.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah.
I'm a
Thanos,
big Doctor Strange fan, but I don't know if I think that's a little much for him to handle solo.
like Thanos and Thor.
It's true. Oh, is this like after the first battle? Like he's left over?
Yeah. Yeah. But we're just assuming they're at full power
Okay.
throughout all of this. They've been.
All right.
So
I don't know.
Thanos
I
and
would
Thor.
stalemate Thanos and Thor. Like
Yeah.
non-god Thanos still is still pretty damn strong.
Yeah.
And Thor's Thor, for God's sake. So
I like Thanos a lot, and it's so hard to not think about Gauntlet Thanos.
Infinity Gauntlet stuff.
Right,
Right.
yeah, you always think of him with the gauntlet.
I think at the end, Thor beats a powerless Thanos.
Like just straight up, no gimmicks, no
Yeah,
power
Thor-
projects.
Thor
you know.
has his default power set with Mjolnir and everything, and Thanos has his default power set with no gauntlet. I think Thor wins that.
I think
I can-
Thanos is smarter.
Thanos is smarter.
He
That is
could-
true, but
Nah,
I don't know. I
I
feel
like Thanos. I like Thanos.
I know.
I still think he could outmaneuver Thor.
Yeah.
He's not going
Right.
to. He's not dumb enough to take Thor head on. He's going to outmaneuver him.
So Thor is still standing, and that brings Deadpool and Magneto into the fray here.
Whew.
Um.
I think
Yeah.
it comes down to Magneto and Thor.
So yeah, Deadpool's out.
Deadpool's
Um,
Nick, I'm going to inform you right now that
I've already lost.
I'm gonna because Mysterio doesn't have a chance against anyone else in this.
yeah.
Well, no, hey, listen, Deadpool can heal himself, so he's going to hang in there.
He's gonna hang in there, but I don't think he's gonna be able to hang in there long enough. To...
I mean, here's the thing: he can
When
sneak.
Thor takes his remains and throws them into space.
yeah,
I think if Magneto and Thor are fighting, he could he could take out Magneto while he's distracted.
yeah.
So I mean, and then get wrecked by Thor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so does Magneto's power work on Mjolnir?
I don't think
No.
so because it's cosmic metal. It doesn't work.
No.
like that.
Yeah, I don't think.
That's how I've always believed it to be.
Yeah.
So I just
And does Magneto's ability to manipulate all of the metal around him in World War II help him against Thor? I don't think
which
so.
gives him a better chance, but I
Yeah.
think Thor beats
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, if Thor could summon a freaking
I think
tornado,
at the end of the day,
blow it all away.
Thor is still standing. Nick, you've got one fighter standing in Mysterio.
All right.
Steve,
Let's do it.
Steve, you're bringing in Scarlet Witch.
That's tough.
So Mysterio, Scarlet Witch, and Thor.
Well, been real, guys. See you later. At least I won the first one.
Scarlet Witch and Thor is tough, but
That's real tough.
Hold on one second, guys. I'll be right back, okay?
yeah.
Yep.
So default, I win. Sorry, guys.
I think I know why Ross picked this round robin thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I didn't.
Here's this idea that benefits me.
Oh, I
Well,
can one
got
my
the wrong
God
one.
against everyone.
So I guess the last dance this week was like a Rodman heavy episode.
There's 2 episodes though, right?
Yeah, 3 and 4 tonight.
Hold on.
Robin's story is so depressing. Like,
Oh, have you seen his 30 for 30?
yeah. I mean, I read his book like in the '90s when it came out or whatever. That dude's life is just tragic.
Yeah, like he had his best friend was like 10.
Yeah. I don't know. All those stories like him sitting out like outside the arena with a shotgun, like
Oh God, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I would have done it. Hey, we lost Steve.
All right. Oh, we lost Steve?
Yeah, he walked away for a minute.
Okay. All right. My dogs are going crazy.
No, it's
You can feel free to leave in the report about us talking about Dennis Rodman wanting to kill himself.
yes. And speaking of which, are your dogs in the enclosed pool area?
I have to remember it around 2 hours. That's all I have to remember.
Yeah.
So I can edit this nonsense out.
It's just been nothing but anti-Semitic slurs all the time.
Oh boy. This is live and everything. Jeez.
Scarlet Witch and Thor. That's such a hard battle to even like.
Wrap your head around. Like I can't even.
Yeah.
You
Witch and Thor.
can make a case that she could, dominate Thor,
Yeah.
and vice versa. Like,
Right. She
I
can
guess
get in his head. Get in his head.
Does she have the chaos magic then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chaos. So it's chaos magic. I mean, she did like wish herself to have 2 children for God's sake.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's a tough battle. I don't know. Part of me still thinks Thor is just through his ability to withstand the beating he would take from her. I think.
Yeah.
Like early on, like I think if she's throwing everything she's got at him, he's like on his heels. But I think eventually she would run out of tricks, so to speak.
Yeah.
And he's still around.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my thoughts. I could easily see where she could beat Thor.
Yeah. He's
He's
not the strong. I mean, well, he is one of the strongest, but he's not like mentally one of the strongest.
Correct.
Right.
He could be. He could be broken.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, I think she could break him relatively easily.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the scenario I can easily see happening.
like you just have him like flash back to like make him think he's seeing Odin or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, she's not a good matchup for him, and in the same way that like what's her name? Who's the Asgardian? What's her Enchantress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Enchantress, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Enchantress.
that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Kind of in a way that she's a bad matchup for him. I think she would be as well.
Yeah. I really am going to give this one to Scarlet Witch because I think she could figure out a way effectively and quickly.
I can't really argue with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it could go either way, but I definitely see scenarios where Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch versus Dormammu.
Oof. Well,
But
Chaos
where's
Magic.
Mysterio?
Mysterio got
he's dead.
he's dead. If
He's
Scarlet
dead,
Witch
Jim.
can take, if
We
Scarlet Witch
need the
can take
third
out,
magician.
yeah,
He ran away and stepped on the landmine.
yeah. If Scarlet, yeah. if Scarlet Witch took out Thor, she took out Mysterio. I'm sorry, Nick, but
Mysterio got captured and put into a gulag.
Yeah.
I think I don't think she could beat Dormammu.
No,
I don't know enough about Dormammu. I don't know enough.
Well,
about him.
like he's more like he's like the same magic tier as Strange, right? Or
Yeah.
if not more.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what I've always thought.
And she's magic, but I think Dormammu is probably more practiced than one because she's
more controlled, more practiced, and just more raw power.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, one of Dormammu's power sets is immortality, so I mean that's doesn't help much.
I saw him on the list, and I thought, he's kind of too good to be true. But
but I mean, but he's using black magic, which is at odds with like Doctor Strange's magic, which is why they're evenly mystic arts and black magic are. Scarlet Witch it's not really so much magic as it is sort of like.
What is it?
Yeah, what is it exactly? Because it really is more like
manipulation.
It's like reality manipulation more than just traditional magic.
Yeah.
So
I think his ability to manipulate reality is greater than hers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
one has tripping balls power.
Man, I wish I had Doctor Strange right now.
Yeah, but he already got killed. That's unfortunate. So
I was really sad I couldn't choose Mephisto,
so you get Juggernaut versus Dormammu.
That's a bad matchup for Juggernaut.
That's not a good look for Juggernaut.
No. And even if Juggernaut took out Dormammu, his final match would be against Captain America, who definitely he wouldn't be able to take out either. So
no,
not a good matchup for him.
Yeah. So
no, he would not.
If we follow it by these metrics, Ross, you stand on top.
Woo! What a great idea that was.
Yeah, whose idea was that, by the way? I just wanted on the record. Who came up with that idea?
Look, this whole thing was sort of my idea. Steve's idea.
I manipulated it a little bit more to make it a little more clean, but and it sucks because a lot of it really could have been pick order. If you picked in a different order, there might have been a different chance. But
yeah, we're going to save Dormammu for backup there.
Yeah,
Dormammu 2020.
Yeah, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles on some of these matchups, and I've got whole other sets of matchup ideas going forward. Also, we called it earlier. We called it Murder World, but really it was Mojo World. Murder World is Arcade's world.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
screwed that up. I'm just going back and saying that now, so people don't listen to it.
When you started saying it, my initial thought was that you were going to say Arcade, and I was like, I hate Arcade so much.
Yeah.
All I know about Arcade is the really bad game for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, there's a really bad video game.
Yeah.
So bad.
So Ross.
Yes.
You kind of you won 3 of them. 3 out of the 5.
That's awesome. What a win!
What a win! So that means the next time we do this, I don't know, we'll do this once a month maybe if we can.
I could do this every day probably.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Once a month would be fantastic.
Yeah.
At some point, street level guys will be a good pick.
Yeah.
But
this time, like I said, I have tons of different scenario ideas to go through. Some of them, and like I said, I'm gonna keep them a complete secret until it's time to do it. So you're gonna make some bad calls once in a while.
Do you know that none of us picked Spider-Man?
I noticed that. I was very sad.
I almost picked him instead of She-Hulk. I almost picked him instead of She-Hulk.
I almost took him over Thing too.
Yeah, I almost took him over Mysterio.
Would have helped you.
Yeah.
It would have helped a little.
Not a lot, but.
But the webbing could have at least caused enough of a distraction to help you out.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Like we had guys like Wolverine and like Spider-Man still on the list.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
once
Wolverine
you,
is their big.
I think once you realized that my whole goal was to just mess with you as much as possible, it became obvious. Like, well, I can't just pick Wolverine because what if he's, or like when I gave Steve villains and like he's got Magneto on there. I can't pick
Well, because
Wolverine
this is just concrete proof that Wolverine's really not all that great.
Just a tad overrated.
Well,
I
and
like
I
Wolverine.
like that. I like that Carnage made the list, but not Venom.
I thought I put Venom on there, but then I went back to the list and said, didn't put him on that list, huh?
I
Okay.
didn't see Kang on the list because I would have picked him out the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another list of sort of like heroes that became villain, like with like Archangel and like Venom,
Iron Lad.
like and like Toxin and like other weird symbiotes and stuff. But
I like that Danny Rand is in parentheses. Iron Fist.
when
Danny
I, co- when I copied the list from the when I copied the list from Marvel's website, there's actually like 4 or 5 different Iron Fists that aren't Danny Rand.
It's the Ted DiBiase of Iron
Yeah.
Fist.
And when I copied it, and I'm like, this reminds me of the Ted DiBiase Jr.
I don't even remember another Iron Fist. I
Me
mean, I
neither.
never.
Yeah, who's another Iron? I don't know another
Yeah.
Iron.
Yeah. Didn't
I mean,
know
I
the names
didn't
didn't mean anything to me when I saw them
other
either.
people had the title Iron Fist before him, or had the power before him, but like I don't remember anybody else being Iron Fist. I remember Iron Fist being Daredevil.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
During Secret War or Civil War, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, but I don't know. It's tough because like you're looking at it and like there's favorites. Like I want to pick Luke Cage, but I'm having a hard time finding scenarios where I think Luke Cage is going to be terribly useful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There are definitely scenarios where street level characters are going to be useful.
Yeah,
and
like I
there's-
wanted to pick Black Panther, but it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like to keep it a secret, because there will be times where, like when Nick chooses Namor in space.
Yeah.
What if the rule for that last battle had been that there was a power nullifier and everybody's powers were completely nullified?
Well, then it's just an MMA cage
Then
match
that's
between
just
normal
going-
dudes.
Then Captain America whips everybody's butt.
Then Taskmaster would be ideal in that situation. Because he could take any fighting style and just use it.
Can't we Banshees on this list?
Could have picked Chameleon or Crossbones.
Dude, Mole Man and Molecule Man are on this list.
Yeah. There's
And Brother Voodoo.
yeah. Brother Voodoo is great. Don't talk smack about Brother Voodoo.
I almost threw it together a team like just like the worst possible team I could throw together.
I was a lot of the weird choices on there stayed on there because I thought this will make for some funniness if somebody just runs across it and says,
Yeah.
what the? I'm picking. There's one in there in particular, and I can't remember what it was that made me laugh.
Gambit?
Gambit.
Like, why is the Spot on here?
Yeah.
Why do you have Paste Pot Pete on here?
I was hoping you'd sneak in like a DC character and see if anybody noticed, like some
Yeah.
fifth-rate DC villain.
But like,
Phantom Stranger.
yeah. Like, like I said, I kept Night Thrasher on there specifically just so Steve constantly scrolls past Night Thrasher.
Well, yeah, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's no way there's any point in time that anyone would ever pick Night Thrasher.
Surprise! It's a skate or die fight.
Night
There's a half pipe, right?
Night Thrasher versus Hawkeye. That's just 1-on-1.
He's like Black Batman, right? With the skateboard. That's
Yeah.
him. It's Night Thrasher.
Yeah.
What?
Night Thrasher and Moon Knight team
Yeah.
up. The Marvel's Batman.
Except Moon Knight's got like weird, like mental, problems.
well, Batman has weird mental problems.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just good.
Like even Night Thrasher's parents are dead. Like he's just
Yeah.
Black Batman
With a skateboard.
with a skateboard.
I could have a Batmobile,
But check out this. But check out this nose grind.
Ollie.
Night Thrasher's pro skater too.
Well, and like the way that the teams fall, a lot of the times you're sitting there, you're like, oh, well, Kingpin's like a formidable villain,
Yeah.
except for other people have Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes.
Don't worry. I have plans to keep you on your toes to where some of that stuff is definitely going to be, Thor being on your team may not be an advantage.
It's like you're judging a pie eating contest at a county fair.
Yeah.
Man.
We'll get there. We'll do this again very soon.
Sounds fun.
Ross, you're champion
Absolutely.
this time. Congratulations.
Yay.
The #1 Marvel boy.
And I'm the DC guy.
Yeah.
he's Vance Astro.
But you might.
At least I used to be when DC was good. But that's a whole another podcast.
Gonna start. There definitely will be some DC stuff sprinkled in sooner or later. Trust me.
As soon as Disney buys DC.
Exactly.
That would be great.
Yes.
Well, they might start distributing DC comics at some point, so who knows? Who knows? But let's just call it here. Let's put a pin in it. Everyone, recuperate. You'll be sucked back into Battle World again very shortly. and I hope you had fun doing this. Did you have
Yes,
some
I
fun?
did.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of
It
fun.
was like fifth grade all over again.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for joining us, everyone. And Excelsior.
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 And